Powered by Riverside FM.
UP Nation, do you know who could have a breakout season next year? I'm just kind of getting this feeling of an individual on the Minnesota Vikings team that could have, a really big-time breakout season. And the guy that I'm talking about is Mr. Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison has been flirting with having a breakout season. When he was drafted, there was a lot of criticism of Kwesi and KOC for drafting an offensive guy when it was felt like they needed some defensive help, but the guy the caliber of Jordan Addison fell to the Minnesota Vikings. And ever since then, he has been a really good number 2 wide receiver. You could argue that he and Jets are the best 1-2 punch in the league. I know, you got Jamar Chase and Higgins and just all those guys, man. But for my money, I'm rolling with JJ and Jordan Addison. Great 1-2 punch. Great 1-2 punch. And I think the 2025 season is going to be a significant season. And I think this video, podcast, whatever you want to call it, is going to age well in that. I think Jordan Addison is going to be laser focused this offseason. And I hope I'm right about that because his last couple of off seasons have not been good. The thing about Jordan Addison is that because of some of the decisions that he made during his previous off seasons, it's going to affect him in the upcoming season because he's facing possibly a 3-game suspension for falling asleep, in California on a ramp, possibly being intoxicated, blah, 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 blah. So he's going to be facing some sort of discipline from the league, some sort of discipline from the Minnesota Vikings. As always, I don't know why these things have to play out for so long. I understand that both sides have to do their due diligence and all of that good stuff, dot the I's, cross the T's, all that stuff. Like, I totally get it. But, there was speculation that he was going to be suspended last year, and then word came out that probably wasn't going to happen. So this upcoming season, he's probably going to be out for at least 3 games. So he knows in his mind that at some point he's going to want to get paid, albeit with the Minnesota Vikings or somebody else. So people in his camp, these guys are not stupid. And their inner circles want that cash cow to continue making cash. So I'm sure there's been a lot of conversation where, his boys and his agents and everybody's saying, hey, man, you got to have a really, really good offseason. Let's focus on being the best wide receiver that you can possibly be. And I think you're going to see a different Jordan Addison in terms of work ethic in the offseason. I think he's going to be at the facility a lot. He's got a new quarterback coming in that can spin the rock, that can get him the ball, that makes quick decisions, which I think he's a great short route runner, intermediate runner, and he can stretch that thing downfield. And so getting a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy under center should excite Jordan Addison. Then you look at his partner on the other side of the field, Mr. Justin Jefferson, J.J. Jets, whatever you want to call it, whatever his alter ego is. He's going to demand a lot of double teams, safeties rolling over the top. Like, man, this stuff is not going to change in terms of how teams have to defend Justin Jefferson. He's that good. So that means Jordan Addison is going to eat a lot of one-on-one coverages, and now he has a quarterback that's going to be able to get him the ball in the right spots. The ball's going to come out on time, which is going to enhance Jordan Addison's game. All of the stars are starting to align for a guy like Jordan Addison if he doesn't screw up during the offseason. And I'm not expecting him to screw up. I believe this kid's going to be laser focused because in a couple of years, right now we've got him under that rookie contract. But in a couple of years, he's going to be demanding a payday. And I am going to call it out right now. I don't think his negotiations are going to go as smoothly as Jets negotiations went. I mean, Jets, it was a no-brainer. It was just about, the signing bonus and the dollar sign, the dollar amount, what they were going to pay him, how high were they willing to go? What did Justin Jefferson really want? Who the quarterback was going to be? And that was handled so gracefully by the Minnesota Vikings organization, Justin Jefferson, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. But when you look at a guy like Jordan Addison, who has been, for all intents and purposes, not stellar during the offseason, stellar on the field, I think he's going to have a breakout season in 2025. When it comes to sitting at the table, man, this is going to be a hard negotiation for the Minnesota Vikings because you have all of this off the field trouble. Then you're paying Justin Jefferson an incredible amount of money. You're going to have to pay J.J. McCarthy if he turns out to be the guy. And I know the salary cap is going to go up every single year, but are you going to invest big-time money in 2 wide receivers? You're going to have to make some decisions. And it's why I think it's going to be hard to sign Jordan Addison to a contract. And remember what he said on draft night. This is not verbatim, but he basically said, I'm here to make some money. Let's make some money. So when his time comes, he's not going to be an easy negotiator, especially coming off a season that I think he's going to have in 2025. I think he's going to be the Minnesota Vikings breakout offensive player along with J.J. McCarthy. Jets is always going to be Jets. But I think you're going to see another step with Jordan Addison. And I think that's going to make the Minnesota Vikings negotiations with him a little bit tougher. I don't see the Minnesota Vikings extending him at all. And I know that there's been some verbiage that the Minnesota Vikings should trade him. And I would say this. If he has the breakout season that I think he's going to have in 2025, man, I would consider it. Because you're not going to be able to sign him, and you have to know that. You're not going to spend that amount of money on 2 wide receivers. Kwesi has to know that. So you have to strike while the iron is hot. If he has a breakout season and you feel like you can get adequate compensation for a guy like Jordan Addison, which I think you would be able to do, the Minnesota Vikings have to entertain at least a conversation about moving Jordan Addison. It's hard to think about, it's hard to say, but realistically, it will probably be the best move for the Minnesota Vikings in the future because you're just not going to be able to sign a guy like Jordan Addison and have him paired with Jets. You're not going to pay 2 wide receivers like that. So the Vikings will probably be in the mindset of sitting down, talking and negotiating a contract, but probably won't be able to get to the price point that Jordan Addison wants. Again, he says it's all about the money. Minnesota Vikings then can't have him walk away. Again, another star walk away, looking at a 3rd-round compensatory pick. You've got to be able to get some assets back for him. Jordan Addison, man, 2025, going to have a breakout season. This is Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Just go down there and click that like button. That really helps the station out. Also, consider becoming a member. Those that become a member will be eligible for a Minnesota Vikings Winter Warriors jersey. Those things are absolutely box office and stellar. This has been Unconventional Playbook. We'll make sure to see you when we see you, UP Nation.